Get ready to embark on a journey to the farthest corners of the Earth, where deep silence and untouched landscapes seem frozen in time. In today's video, we will explore the 5 most isolated islands on the planet, where life adapts to extreme isolation and contact with the outside world is a rarity. But first, leave your like and subscribe to the channel. It costs nothing and motivates me to keep bringing content for you. Number 1. Tristan D Cunha. With a population of approximately 250 people, Tristan D Cunha is home to the most remote community on the planet. The main island is located in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, literally in the middle of nowhere. Tristan D Cunha is 2,816 kilometers from South Africa and 3,360 kilometers from South America, making it a tiny speck in the South Atlantic. Discovered in 1506 by Tristan D Cunha, who couldn't land due to rough seas, the island was named and left behind. Its first permanent inhabitant was American explorer Jonathan Lambert, who arrived in 1810 and declared himself ruler. In 1816, the UK annexed the island due to its strategic position, creating a military base. Over time, families of fishermen, shipwreck survivors, and European adventurers settled, forming the foundation of today's community. Residents share historic surnames like Glass, Green, and Snell, direct descendants of the early settlers. Despite its tiny population, Tristan D Cunha has a small hospital providing basic care, staffed by a dentist, nurse, and doctor. However, severe cases require evacuation to South Africa. The island also has a school for children up to age 16 and a small store. Supplies are ordered weeks or even months in advance, as everything comes from distant locations. Modern amenities are limited, with electricity coming from central diesel generators. Harsh winters and frequent storms demand resilience from the inhabitants. Despite these challenges, Tristan D Cunha is a natural haven, home to diverse bird and marine species, some endangered elsewhere. However, the island's volcanic nature poses a risk. Its sole settlement, Edinburgh of the Seven Seas, sits at the base of a volcano that last erupted in the 1960s. Number 2. Pitcairn Island. Another of the world's most isolated islands, Pitcairn is home to one of Earth's smallest populations, just about 60 people. Situated in the Pacific Ocean between Chile and New Zealand, nearly all its residents descend from the mutineers of the British ship HMS Bounty, who revolted against Captain William Bligh in 1789. After the mutiny, a group led by Fletcher Christian sought refuge far from British justice, settling on Pitcairn with Polynesian companions from Tahiti. Their descendants still live there today. With no airport, Pitcairn can only be reached by boat, a journey that takes days depending on sea conditions. Known for its stunning landscapes and rich marine life, the island faces challenges like an aging population and a lack of youth to sustain the community. Cultural traditions, including a unique language blending English and Polynesian elements, and annual celebrations commemorating the Bounty Mutiny, preserve its heritage. Residents craft items like baskets and wooden carvings to sell to visitors, maintaining their cultural identity. Number 3. Palmerston Island. Located about 3,200 kilometers northeast of New Zealand, Palmerston Island has only 62 residents, all descended from a single family. Discovered by Captain James Cook in 1774, the first permanent settler was William Masters, who arrived in 1863 with his Polynesian wife and her cousins. Masters married both cousins, fathering 23 children before his death in 1899, and today nearly all the island's inhabitants are his direct descendants. Life here is simple and isolated, with no stores, banks, or markets. Residents rely on fishing and small-scale farming for survival. Electricity is limited to 6 hours a day, provided by generators, and fresh water comes from collected rain. Medical care is basic, with emergencies requiring evacuation to Rarotonga, a trip that takes days. Palmerston is part of the Cook Islands and is more than 500 kilometers from Rarotonga. With no airport, the island is accessible only by occasional ships, making connection with the outside world rare. Number 4. St. Helena. Known as the final exile of Napoleon Bonaparte, St. Helena is one of the most isolated and fascinating islands in the world. Located in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, it lies about 1,950 kilometers from Africa and over 2,800 kilometers from South America. Discovered in 1502 by the Portuguese, the island served as an important stopover for ships traveling between Europe Africa, and Asia. Today, St. Helena has about 4,500 residents, known as Saints. This diverse community has African, European, and Asian ancestry, reflecting its colonial history. Until 2017, the only way to reach St. Helena was via the RMS St. Helena, a ship departing sporadically from Cape Town. Now, the island has an airport, though flights are limited and depend on favorable weather. The high cost of living stems from its reliance on imported goods. Local businesses are mainly small stores and family markets. St. Helena has a hospital and schools, but students seeking higher education must leave the island, often heading to the UK or South Africa. Tourism, especially related to Napoleon's history, is a key income source, though limited infrastructure and access challenges restrict visitor numbers. Number 5. Sakra Island. Finally, Sakra is one of the most unique and isolated inhabited islands in the world. Located about 350 kilometers off Yemen's coast in the Indian Ocean, this extraordinary place is home to approximately 60,000 residents. The population mainly comprises Bedouins and descendants of ancient Arab traders. Sakra is famous for its endemic flora and fauna, including the peculiar dragon's blood tree, whose umbrella-like branches and red sap seem otherworldly. Around a third of the island's species are found nowhere else on Earth. Its inhabitants have deep ties to the natural environment, using native plants for medicine, construction, and food. Cultural traditions have endured thanks to the island's isolation, including the unique Sokotri language. Though part of Yemen, Socotra's distance and biodiversity give it an almost mythical status. Tourism is carefully managed to preserve the fragile ecosystem, drawing visitors eager to explore its caves, beaches, and mountains. If you dream of living away from the world, these islands may be a paradise for you. With breathtaking landscapes and close-knit communities, they offer much more than isolation. They are havens of peace, unique stories, and ways of life that defy time. What caught your attention the most? If you made it to the end of this video, leave your like and subscribe to the channel. It motivates me to keep creating more content. See you in the next video.